Hello my fellow gamers and welcome back to another video. So this is gonna be a little different because this time, instead of doing some locked door like we did in the last video, this time what we're gonna be doing is a destructible items challenge or quest. So basically what you do is you come over to a device and start up the quest, whatever it may be. I made it burgers just as like an example, and they'll go ahead and spawn in wherever you place them. And then, as you see in the top left, it shows you the quest and what you're supposed to do. Destroy 3 burgers around the map for a prize. As you see, I have an empty inventory, but that'll change after I destroy all 3 of these. Now, first one, you see you destroy one, and the counter goes up. Another one, the counter goes up again. And the final one, the counter will complete and give you a weapon. Now you can make it give you whatever you want, or you could just make it spawn. It really doesn't matter. But this is just kind of my little example. You destroy 3 items and then it'll give you an item like this. So honestly, I think this is pretty useful. But yeah, you know, let's get right into it. Before doing that though, I should let you guys know that this isn't necessary. You can make it so it starts up automatically, or you could just make it so you have to interact with the device to start it up. I generally make it so you have to interact with the device to start it up. I should probably turn on I still haven't done that since the last video, but anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get into the tutorial. You can either make it so it starts up on the game. When you start the game, it'll automatically start, but the drawback to it is that when you start up the game, depending on how many different players are in your game, it could probably be a little buggy. So that's why I'm gonna tell you guys right now that if you're gonna be doing something like this, make sure that it's either cooperative, so everyone's on the same team, or only play by yourself. Otherwise this could get pretty buggy. So anyway, let's get straight into it. Alright, now let's go ahead and start from scratch. I already placed this down. You guys can do that if you want to, but anyway. So to start off, what I would recommend doing is getting 3 places to put it, whether it's like on a couch, on a table, whatever, and then get whatever prop you'd like. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get 3 tables. I'm gonna get one from here. Just make it like a little countertop. This works. So that's our first place to put one. And then another one we could get from, I don't know, I'm just choosing random ones. We could get from like here, get a little counter here too. Actually, you know what? I should probably just do tables instead. That'd probably be a lot more convenient. Yeah, it really doesn't matter. Anything works, you know what? Just cause why not? Actually, no. There's a perfect one I was using earlier. It was from the residential props, I believe, in gallery. Yeah, there's these residential gallery, and I think it was indoor residential. Here it is. Okay, so you could get like a table right here. This is one I was going to use earlier, but I decided to go with 3 random tables instead for the demonstration, just because it was, I don't know, more convenient, I guess. Just to show you like it could be anywhere. But anyway, so you get 3 locations. It doesn't matter where you put it. The main thing you got to focus on is just having it. Having places to put it, and then having the prop you want. Now, I already used the burger for the example, so for this one, I'm gonna use, okay, maybe not a birthday cake. Maybe, okay, just as an example, I'll do like a bottle. Because these are pretty small, which means you could easily mess this up. And just letting you guys know that this is easy to mess up. The biggest thing that makes it hard is just you don't want to make it so you accidentally just like make it so it's set to the table rather than the bottle, which is why you have to be very careful and why this can be pretty tricky at times. But anyway, let's get straight into it. So the first thing we're going to do device-wise is we're going to need one of the most important devices of all time for creative. This is going to become very useful for most things, and this is the tracker device. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys already know about this tracker device, but if you don't, basically what it does is it tracks eliminations, kills, all sorts of different things. Like you could weapons fish, so if you fish up a weapon, you could do that. Fish, just these basic battle royale ones, not really anything too special. But see, for this is a little different because there's not really a destroyed one. And there kind of is, but it's a little tricky. So what I would do is stat to track, make sure that is set to channel. Also make sure you go to all options. That's important. Reset between rounds, keep that on yes. I would recommend that. Okay, so this part is important. So see, let's actually, because I want to show you guys this, let's add 4. Because last time I did 3. So last time the target value was 3 because there was 3 different burgers that you had to destroy. In this case, it would have been 3 bottles. But now that we have 4 bottles to destroy, we can set this up to 4. So just keep in mind, all the target value is just how many objects you want to be destroyed. And starting value, I don't really see a use for turning this up. I would generally keep this at 0 most of the time, but I guess in case it's there in case you need it, so just keep this at 0 for this specific scenario. So anyway, you want to go down right here, assign on game start. So this basically is saying when you load in, immediately when you start up here, let me show you. It shouldn't take too long. So when you start up the game, immediately you see in the top left corner, it doesn't really say anything because it's still a work in progress, but it'll assign on game start. It'll basically start the second you spawn in, which I don't necessarily like to use, but if you want, that's optional. You can do that if you want, but I'm just going to put this to no for the more complex version. And then assign when joining in progress, no, keep that off. And now progress sharing. See, this is where things get tricky, because if you do individual, only one person can destroy the objects. If anyone else does it, it'll mess up the challenge. And if you put it to all, the problem here is that only one person can do it. Kind of like individual. Like anyone can start the challenge, but only one person can really do it. It's buggy. It kind of changes here and there. So I generally like to put it on team so that the progress can be shared throughout anyone in the team. And now you want to see, just scroll down until you get to when target is reached. Make sure that's complete tracker. You don't want it to be anything else. Amount to change on receive signal. Keep that on 1. Show on HUD. This can either be list, detailed, and both if you'd like, but I generally like to go for detailed. That's the most useful. And now this is where you get to the optional or specific to whatever you're doing. So like say you have 3 pieces of cheese around the map. You say like cheese hunt, I guess. Destroy the cheese. You could do something like that. But for this specific situation, I'm going to say bottle hunt. Destroy the 4 bottles around the map. Obviously, it's just right in front of me, but you know. Progress indicator, basically all this is, in case you aren't already aware, total shows you how many you have done, and remaining shows you how much you have left. Pretty straightforward. Again, that's another optional one. I'm going to keep it to total. tracker completion ceremony. This generally causes bugs with other trackers, so I turned this off. But I don't know, if you guys want to experiment with this, you can. I'm not really sure what it does, but anyway. Player and eliminations count, I think we're good there. Everything should be fine up until this point. So now you want to start assigning the... Hold on. Now you want to start assigning the channels. So you can go over to the channels tab. So whatever the 3 most recent or unused channels are, you want to go ahead and use those. So I'm going to do assign when receiving from 1. Increment when receiving from 2, and then when complete, transmit on 3. And now we're done with the tracker, so we don't need to worry about that anymore. So now for the actual bottles, what we're going to do is we're going to get a prop manipulator right here. Let's go ahead and turn that down to the lowest possible size. So once it's turned green, you know that it's good. Okay, so now for some of the settings. Show props when receiving from. This is not necessary if you're doing assigning on game start. So if you spawn in, you don't need to use this, and you also don't need to use start hidden. But if we want a button to activate the challenge, we're going to go ahead and put that to yes. So start hidden's going to be yes. Prop health, I'd put that to 50 generally when using everything is indestructible. So that's what I put it to. And then show props when receiving from 1 and when destroyed, transmit on 2. And now we're actually done for the most part. The last thing we have to do is just place this on all of the bottles. Okay. So now the last thing we need to do is the way to start it up. So if you guys turn start hidden off and on destroyed, transmit on 2, if you already did that and have this on assign on game start, you'd basically be good and you don't have to worry about anything, and it'd work perfectly fine, and you could just go ahead and start it up. But if you're going to be doing the entire thing to where you have to start it up with a button, obviously you need to get a button. It's not. There we go. So we need to get a button and some sort of prop, just like a place. I'll just get a placeholder for. Actually, no, I'll get the legit thing, just because it's better that way. Okay. So now we have our device for starting up the challenge. Getting our button. So now what we can do here is when interacted, transmit on 1. Interaction time, this one is optional, but I generally like to keep it around 2 or 3 just so it's not too much or too less. And I think the next thing we need to do is... I might be a little off here. Let's see. Alright, so interaction text. We can make this whatever we want. I'll just make it start bottle challenge. Visible during game, turn that off. Interaction radius, I like to keep this at 0.25 meters. And the last thing we need to do is times can trigger, put that to 1. Kind of skipped over that, but should be fine. So if we're looking at all the edited changes, there you go. And now it should work. The last thing we need to do is the reward. So last time I used an item granter, which basically will just give you whatever. But this time I'm going to do something different. I'm going to get a... I have to search everything up. There's so much stuff now. I'm going to get an item granter so it just spawns in right here. I'll just actually make it somewhere so you can't accidentally ruin it. So, items respawn off, no. Time before first spawn, I'll put that to never. You guys can customize it to your liking. I'm just gonna put it to whatever, just so it works. Again, this is just a placeholder for you guys to copy off of. It's not really, I'm not really doing anything too crazy here. I'm just kind of doing whatever. But anyway, spawn item when receiving from 3, which again, when completed, that's what this does. So now, if we go ahead and start up the game, you'll notice there is no bottles, nor is there any collision with the bottles until you actually start the bottle challenge. And now at the top left you could see bottle hunt, destroy the 4 bottles around the map, and now the bottles spawn in. It goes up to 1, oops, 2, 3, and 4, and now when it completes it'll spawn whatever it is that you put in here. I didn't put anything, so I'm gonna go ahead and change that and put like anything. I don't know, like a prime shotgun. The last thing I want to show you guys, because a lot of people I come across in Fortnite, a lot of my friends, a lot of just anyone really struggles with this, and it's a very important thing to have in a lot of creative maps. So I'm just gonna go ahead and show you. If you go over to my island settings and go to the actual settings and then scroll down until you find environment damage, turn this off, because that way when you start up the game nothing will be destructible. You can't destroy anything. Let me show you. And without one simple setting, nothing can be destroyed. So now we could start up the bottle challenge. And this is why it's important that you set the bottles to 50 health. That's why the prop manipulators need 50 health rather than anything else. Because if you put it on destructible, it can't be destroyed. And if you're using the setting that makes everything indestructible, environment damage, you can't use don't override, because then it'll still be invincible. So that's why you got to keep it at 50 so it can still be destroyed. Anyway, this is just a basic tutorial on how to do this. It's nothing too crazy. It would be a little more complicated if you wanted to actually go to like pick it up and collect it. That's a little bit more complicated, and usually you have to do it in an order. But it's complicated if you want to do it in whatever order you want. Because for me, I could do this in any order I would want. I could destroy the 4th one, the 2nd one, the 3rd one, and the 1st one in that order and still have it complete. If I wanted to actually collect it, I'd have to do it in a specific order, which I can do in another tutorial if you guys would like that. But see, the counter still goes up, it still works, it doesn't matter what order I do it in. While the collecting, it will. It's easy to do it if you just want to do it in any order. It's harder to do if you want it to do in any order. But if you guys would like a tutorial like that, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe. And if you guys enjoyed, you know, just comment below what more tutorials you'd like, or if there's anything you need help with, and I'll go ahead and help you guys out. So yeah, see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.